If you're a big bread eater, or if you've ever eaten bread in the last 100 years, you're going to want to watch this video because there is a specific nutrient that we have not been getting from bread that we would have been getting if we were making our own bread. But first, let me tell you why, in my quest for trying to reduce all the supplements that I take down to the bare minimum, this is one that I definitely go through a whole bottle once every 3 months to keep my heart healthy. I want to start with the story of my friend Jody, who I hope is watching this, to remind him of the importance of keeping this in his life. Jody called me a few years ago, and he was describing to me tightness in his chest. He was talking about what would be referred to as angina, and it was really concerning him, which it should be. As you know, we start to get into our 30s and 40s and 50s. We want to make sure that the heart is getting everything it can. Now, of course, I did tell him to go immediately to his doctor and get everything checked out. I said, but what I'm going to give you is something that I have found helps relax that tightness, that spasm in the muscle, because you may be missing phospholipids. Phospholipids really help with oxygenating the muscle, getting the oxygen into the muscle. And of course, when I said angina to him, he heard mangina, which, shows you where he's thinking. So he thought I was just insulting him. Which, you know what, I wish I was clever enough to have given him that insult, but instead, no, it's just mangina. And if you're watching this, Jody, please do remember to keep taking your Cardio Plus. Cardio Plus is one of those beautiful outliers in the world of nutrition that most people don't know about because it is not something that is heavily marketed. It's a part of that company's standard process that has kind of been quietly making these amazing products for nearly 100 years. However, I mean, they have included this in very interesting things. One of the things I love to remind people that it was part of the 1991 Mount Everest American Expedition and another expedition to the top of another mountain where the doctors and the leaders of these expeditions noted that there was an improvement in the hypoxic situation, meaning the ability for them to have oxygen in the tissues. And that just makes sense because we need to have phospholipids to help us get oxygen into our muscles. And 1/4 of this product is something called Cataplex E2, which is specifically that. Now, usually when I'm talking about phospholipids, I'm telling people that we have about 330 billion cells that we replace every day. And those cells have around them something called a phospholipid bilayer, meaning there is an enormous need for our body to have phospholipids to replace cells and to do all kinds of functions in the body. So it's very important to know that we're getting sources of phosphorus and fats, which is phospholipid, to help us to do that. Now, that's not where this ends with Cardio Plus, though. I've had a lot of really cool experiences with individuals who have stubborn high blood pressure. They're on many medications and they're really concerned. And I'm always explaining to people, well, nutrition does play a big role in your body's blood pressure. So let's see if this will impact it. And I've had many people who, when they were, not where they wanted to be, would have them chew up some of these, wait a few minutes, chew a few more, and retest their blood pressure before and after we did that. And they would see a reduction. Now, they could have just calmed down, but we repeated this many times. So there's a lot of nutrients that we want people to know your body has to have to make everything work normally. And oftentimes those medications are actually trying to force or block something. So I always talk to them about working with their doctor. If their blood pressure starts to normalize, if it starts to come down while they're on that, to have that conversation with the doctor to know, is this something I need to continue if my blood pressure is starting to go very low? So just something to think about. Of course, this isn't medical advice. I want you to have that conversation with your doctor, but I do want you to know that nutrition does impact your blood pressure. There's a lot of things that impact your blood pressure that are going on physiologically that you should probably be knowing about, especially if you are medicating for that. So this is one of those things that I think is worth investigating and talking to people about. I talked about there being that part that helps with the oxygenation into the muscle, but there's also a part of the vitamin B spectrum in there that helps with relaxation. There is a part of it in there that is a whole food vitamin C, which is really important for maintaining the strength and integrity of all of our vasculature, all of the veins in our body. And then there's that piece, that smart tissue repair piece that I talk about specifically for the heart. So they did a really bang up job, I think, when they put this product together, and not just from an intellectual standpoint of looking at it going, this is interesting, but also from a clinical standpoint and seeing people enjoy the benefits of having that support for their heart in a lot of ways. So I'm just going to show you a picture of this in case you are looking for things that you could be doing to improve your support of your heart. I want to let you know also that this is a natural source of coenzyme Q10. So CoQ10 is something a lot of people go out and they supplement over the counter, especially if they're taking certain medications that they know deplete that. It's been shown that a lot of statin medications do reduce that CoQ10. So a lot of times people do take that with it. This is going to be my suggestion because it's a whole food natural source and you get all of that other heart health in there as well. So mostly I just want people to know that there are things out there that you can do for your health that are outside of what you may be hearing about that are supportive. And you want to make sure that you're getting all those nutrients in your body that are there to help you replace all of those 330 billion cells and also satisfy all the other physiological needs in your body. Something to think about. If you have any questions about this, please put them in the comments below. But this is definitely one of those because the heart is probably the most important thing that we need to keep going if we want to achieve longevity, that I keep this in my personal protocols. Thanks for watching, and we've got more to come in this heart health series.